All right, today we're going to have a look at, is 66 days really enough to get rid of an alcohol habit that's been there for decades? Now, I lived through my own 66 days when I stopped drinking alcohol back in 2013, and I've since coached thousands of people to get through theirs. In this video, I'm going to show you why big habits don't fall easy and why that doesn't matter. Let's take a look at how habits can grow over 3 timelines, how much of the habit you can actually break in those first 66 days. We'll look at the problem with decades-old monsters like mine, and stick around until the end and I'll share with you the one trick that actually works. Any habit, good or bad, begins to take shape at about 66 days, right? Your brain's carving a little path like a trail through the woods. If you were trying to start a running habit, you'd be pretty much used to the rhythm at this stage. Now fast forward to 66 weeks, that's over a year, and that path has become a road. Repetition has actually sunk in, those neural pathways are thick, and it's become resilient, which is the hallmark of any habit. You don't have to think, you just do it. After 66 weeks, going out to the bar at the weekend, that's my default now. And it's exactly the same deal with any positive habits like running. These things become automatic at this stage. It's time to run, you do it, there's no thinking required. And then we move to 66 months. This is the identity stage. It's not just a habit anymore, it's just become a part of you. All those habit pathways have now become highways. They're deep and they're wide. It's not I drink or I run, it's I'm a drinker or I'm a runner. It's become a part of your self-concept. Now when it hits a decade, that's what I call a Goliath. But the question is, can you reverse it? When it comes to breaking habits, breaking mirrors building. So 66 days and you're starting to see the cracks, right? You're getting used to daily life without alcohol. The habit is still there, but it's in the background. Cravings can still hit at this stage, but these are mostly through unexpected triggers, like getting a call from an old drinking buddy that you haven't heard from in a long time, or their mindset issues. Comment down below cravings if you want to see me making a video about that. Once we take breaking the habit out to 66 weeks and the habit is mostly faded into the background, there's very little discomfort here at this stage, and there's a lot fewer associations to the old habit. Although you're not fully free, right? Some of the old pathways are still alive and they're there waiting to be triggered. But take it up to 66 months and the habit is just a shadow of its former self. Those old neural pathways are either dead or they're rewired, and the alcohol voice is barely a whisper. The habit's influence is pretty much gone at this stage. Now nothing's bulletproof, but it's just not part of you anymore. Anything over a decade, we call these Goliath habits. These are monsters. You know, they're not habits anymore. They've morphed into these brutally strong identities. At this level, they infiltrate everything. For me, the alcohol was part of my evenings, my friendships, stress, celebrations, holidays, vacations, everything. You know it's a Goliath habit when good weather, bad weather, it's an excuse to have a drink, or your mood is a trigger. Good mood, bad mood, it's an excuse to have a drink. And the problem with these Goliath habits is you won't beat them head on. They're too strong, they're too entrenched. But here's the thing, no matter how big, how strong, Goliaths, they're midbrain, they're pure instinct, no strategy, and they're not smart. And that is how we win. Not brute force, but with strategy. If you're sick of drinking, grab my free sober kickstart kit, the link's below. There was a famous boxing match back in 1974 called the Rumble in the Jungle. I was too young to remember it, but it's a fight that I've watched many times since. Muhammad Ali faced George Foreman, who was a beast of a fighter. Foreman was the champ. He was undefeated. He was a pure knockout machine. This guy had 37 knockouts in 40 fights, and most of them under 3 rounds. He destroyed Joe Frazier, the guy who beat Ali, in just 2 rounds. Most people thought that Ali's chances were 0. He was too old, too light. Vegas had Ali as the 4-1 underdog. Some worried he might not even survive the fight, but he had a plan. Rope-a-dope. He leaned on the ropes, he let Foreman swing these massive punches into him, burning his energy while Ali took all the hits, conserved his own fuel, and just waited. By round 8, Foreman was gassed, he was swinging weak, and Ali knocked him out. Now this was a fuel problem, pure and simple. Foreman couldn't fight without energy, and Ali controlled the fight by letting him burn himself out. And every habit, even a Goliath, has a weakness. It needs fuel. For an alcohol habit, the main fuel is the drink itself. Who controls that? You do. Cut the flow, stop putting this stuff in your mouth, and you starve the habit. Once the fuel tap is turned off, you're rope-a-dope in the habit. For those first few days, it's going to be a slog. Your habit is swinging big, swinging heavy. It's throwing all kinds of shots at you. Cravings, thirst, sleeplessness, negative thoughts, emotions, feelings. You're on the ropes just like Ali. You're taking the hits, but you know that all the habit wants is for you to give in and to feed it. One of the things that Foreman said in an interview much later on, many years have gone by, and he said in the 7th round, he hit Ali with this massive punch, a big haymaker. And he said, Ali leaned into him and he said, oh, you cocksucker. And that's your habit whispering in your ear, come on, make it all go away. Just have the one. But you don't. You hold the line, you cut the fuel, and you let the habit tire itself out. You might feel like you're on the ropes, but you're winning. So let's go back to the beginning again. Can 66 days really slay a habit that's been there for decades? Big habits are always going to put up a big fight. Some triggers and even some of the milder cravings can even linger for months, even a year afterwards. But never forget, no matter how big the habit, it's dependent on you to feed it. That puts you in control. Don't put the booze in your mouth, and there is no way the habit can win. Cut the fuel, watch it dwindle, and then disappear. So 66 days is not really the answer. Reality is a lot tougher than that. But 66 days is a bloody good start. Grab the Sober Kickstart kit below. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye now.